Married with Channels podcast. The podcast featuring a married couple talking movies and TV shows. My name is Moose.
And I'm Jody.
Welcome.
Hello.
To the machine. We got 3 TV shows to talk about this episode, and let's get right into season 2 of Andor on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have thoughts, but you can introduce us here to your thoughts.
My thoughts are I really like Andor. I liked the first season. This season, season 2, started off a little slow, and it became very much like a backdoor Dark Shadows conversations type of thing, which is, it's a spy show set in the Star Wars universe. You kind of expect that.
Sure.
But we're starting to see things kind of ramp up. We're in episode, I want to say 6, maybe 7.
Sure.
And I'm a little disappointed because this is the last season of it. They were supposed to do 5 seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Tony Gilroy, the creator and, writer and all that, said they take too long to produce. And so they condensed the last 3 seasons down into this second season. And you can tell because they've had a couple time jumps.
Okay.
Where, 1 year later is the title card to beginning of an episode.
Okay, well, I'll just interject my opinion here. I don't love that. I don't like all the time jumps because I'm like, wait, what?
I'm with you. I'm not. I mean, I guess that's part of the creative process of writing is, you have to, we planned 5, but we're only doing 2. Now
sure.
we need to whittle this down and make it, and it has to also make sense.
Yeah, I also feel like the beginning of this season was the most boring chess game ever to watch. And I was disappointed because it just didn't grab me right away. I just couldn't get interested in things. And I don't know, it just took a long time to set kind of the stage just for now to jump ahead. All these time jumps and skips and so it's like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. I also felt like it was kind of a little bit like Game of Thrones with Star Wars thrown up all over it, like you've got the whole like things leading up to this wedding and then the actual wedding and all the kind of chess pieces and pawns kind of getting put into place and things like that. And I don't know. I don't know.
I hear that. I totally get that. Like you, there was, I want to say episode 2 or 3 where it was a lot of Mon Mothma and her, kind of doing these conversations out the side of her mouth with these other people at her house and or the wedding prep stuff. And it was a little like, okay, I'm looking at my watch, but I think that all kind of builds up to what is coming down the road here in the season. Yeah.
How many episodes are there total? Do you know?
I want to say 10, 12.
Okay, so we're not that far from the end.
No.
All right.
No, but like I said, it's starting to pick up now. And here's let's get into speaking out the side of your mouth. Here's a clip from Andor season 2. This is Luthen. He's at the party with Mon Mothma and he pulls her aside. There's this guy who promised to help them is now kind of extorting them for money.
You told me he'd stay away from Skolden. He's been pestering him since he arrived.
I know.
I warned you from the start.
I just can't believe it. I've known him my whole life.
People fail. That's our curse. What would have happened if I wasn't here? Would you have told me?
I'm meeting him next week. Yes, I would have told you. I'll warn him off. I'll find what it takes. I'll get a number.
You know the number. We'd be vulnerable forever. You need to be protected.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
How nice for you.
And it's funny, like what he's saying there is this guy is a liability.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he got to go.
Yeah. And she's like, what are you saying?
Another reason why I like Andor is it's kind of a show perfect for the times we're in. You have this seemingly oppressive ruling party / emperor, and there's this faction that's like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. This is against our, not only our morals, but our, we'll call it a constitution. So we're gonna rise up. So
interesting.
the timing of the show, especially this season, couldn't be any better. That's interesting to me. That is not lost on me, I should say.
Huh.
But and it's really well done, and the budgets, you can tell they spent a lot of money on it. But you mentioned the Game of Thrones thing, and I hope they don't fall into the trap of, because they had to condense 3 episodes into one, like at the end we're gonna be like, wait, what? I mean, we know how it's gonna end because it ends where Rogue One, the movie, picks up. So we know who's gonna live. We're pretty sure there's gonna be some people dying, but hopefully it all like just ends right and satisfying.
Yeah.
But we'll see, I guess.
I don't know. It's just a different vibe this season versus the first one. And I don't know. I loved the first one. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just not really digging this one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe you'll change your tune after we finish it out.
I will finish it out. I will stick along for the ride. And I just love the scenery and
it's really
the set pieces of every Star Wars endeavor, really. Honestly, like, just little tweaks and things that make it Star Wars-y, but it's, the shape of a window in the background, or, the look of the lights on this control panel over here. And so I'm always kind of soaking it in for stuff like that, and appreciative of kind of set design. And some of the big shots are missing out of this season too. Like, you really only see kind of this outer worldly weird planet stuff when people are kind of coming and going. You really don't have that kind of epic scenery shots in this season, other than when, like I said, ships are coming and going, and then those are pretty cool. But I imagine, production, budgetary, like those do probably cost a lot of money to make. But that's what I mean. I don't know. That's kind of cool. It's like, they have space travel here. They go to all these other planets and all of these interesting places and environments, and to kind of just take that out and have it just be a game of chess with political players, and it just doesn't hold it up for me as well, I guess. So so that part's a little bit missing for me. I mean, it's there, but it's smaller. It's a smaller part to this series. So anyway.
All right. Gotcha. There's Andor season 2. Again, a few more episodes left as of this recording. Moving on to a little lighter fare. We're talking Hacks, the HBO / Max show. I never know what's like just Max and what's just HBO, or HBO and Max. Anyway.
I think it's just Max.
Okay.
We're
on season 4 of Hacks. And again, the show delivers. Like, I look forward to Hacks. It's just funny and well written, and the characters are interesting, and the relationship between Deborah Vance and Ava never gets old. It's always kind of like I like how the relationship is written so that it's not definitely Ava's the subservient to Deborah and provides Deborah with not only written material comedy-wise, but also, challenges her, but it's also, it kind of fluctuates,
They've got this weird codependency, toxic relationship going on, where they both kind of need each other to teach each other and to really, kind of push and challenge each other as well. So you got this weird toxic dynamic going on, and their relationship. And I think she kind of views Ava as, kind of young child of hers, like a do-over kind of, because she kind of failed it with her own, and
with DJ.
Yeah, and she kind of, I think, views Ava as like a parental do-over, to kind of prove that she can make people stay in her life. And there's so many themes here too. You've got kind of a younger person in kind of a workplace environment, and then you have kind of an older person and a female comedian dealing with ageism and dealing with ratings and it's just been an interesting dynamic and funny too. It's just really funny. There's some heart there too. And so I always kind of like those and are drawn to those.
Yeah, it's almost like Hacks is kind of like a more R-rated version, and not like a hard R, but a more R-rated version of Ted Lasso, where it's funny, but there's definitely some heart there.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who has not watched Hacks is missing out. Here's a clip of this relationship and its craziness.
What is your problem?
What happened to our truce?
Nothing. We agreed to put our personal differences aside and never speak of them again. But that doesn't mean creatively I have to agree with all your stupid ideas.
The point is to warm up to each other. We're supposed to bond, mingle, play Cards Against Humanity. If you would have given me 2 seconds to grab my deck.
You know how much work we have to do. We do not have the time to find out, what their last names are and all that.
But this is a retreat.
I called it that because legally I was advised that I couldn't take them into an office over the weekend.
You're insane.
Yeah, and it's interesting. The characters are completely different, but in a lot of ways they're the same. Different in that Deborah's like, she's getting up there and she needs to seize this opportunity that she's been wanting for 40, 50 years, came close to getting. She's got it now. She wants to seize it and not let it go. And she wants to kind of, she wants to appeal to everybody. It wants to be a success. Whereas Ava, kind of young, kind of starting out, she still has that urge to kind of try and take a risk and get a little out there.
It's interesting because, Deborah has had this long, successful career. This one was a big personal hurdle for her, getting, late night comedy and whatnot. But it's interesting because she's kind of a diva and she's used to people and getting her way. She's used to people doing what she tells them to do and getting her way. And Ava kind of challenges that because Ava's kind of, also talented. And so Ava's like, well, I want to do what I want to do. And, they kind of just always kind of have that power struggle because, one's a diva who wants everyone to go along with what they say. And, Ava's trying to prove herself and find her way. And, she does write good comedy for her. And, I think Deborah recognizes that. So that's where that weird, I need her, but I can't stand her,
Right.
kind of dysfunction happening there. So, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So Hacks season 4, I don't know if this is the last season. I want to say that has not been announced. So
Okay.
I'm guessing there will be some more. We have a few more episodes to get through in this season. But,
Sure.
definitely go check out The Hacks. Moving on to our final show, one show that has finally wrapped up, The Righteous Gemstones on HBO. I remember when we first started watching this, when it first came out, 4 seasons ago, it was like, what the hell is this? It's essentially a televangelist type family. And, that alone, that as a baseline should be enough for comedy fodder.
Yeah.
But they took that and they ramped it up to about 20.
Oh my gosh. Did they ever?
And an example I'll use is here's Judy.
Oh my.
daughter.
You're going to play this?
Yes.
No.
Because it's so funny. Here's Judy. She's come to visit BJ, her husband, who's doing this stripper pole fitness class. And he just finished up a class with the other people. And she feels a little threatened by the female instructor who's there within earshot. So she has to kind of overcompensate.
Woo, god dang, Beach. Watching you work that pole's got me slick, boy. About to start finger dancing on my snap drags. Talking about kitty cat.
She's so crude all the time. It like, oh my gosh, the stuff that comes out of her mouth. I'm just like, oh my God. Did she just say that?
Righteous Gemstones is one of the few like laugh out loud funny shows. And a lot of that has to do with, excuse me, Judy. And what's her name? I forget her name, the actress, but she is just
Edie Patterson.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She just kills it.
Yeah, she's great.
I remember when we saw her, at least I think it was the first time you and I saw her. It was on the other Danny McBride show on HBO, Vice Principals.
Yeah.
And I remember watching her. I was like, oh, she's funny. Like,
yeah.
She could be a star.
Speaking of Danny McBride, there was a scene in one of the episodes this season that his yelling, acting, his face.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was just so like really into it. I was just dying laughing.
When they're in like we'll call it the
like
throne
council.
room.
Yeah.
The council
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to rewind that a couple times.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
You were laughing.
I was
out
dying.
loud.
Yeah. And just, the storylines, like, there's a little bit of heart there too. Like their dad is starting to date after their mom died, and there's family dynamics there to work through, but they do it in such a funny, hilarious way. Like, oh, it just cracks me up sometimes. But
this season was funny. Definitely. I don't know if I really liked the plot line with Sean William Scott's character.
Oh yeah.
That felt a little forced to me. Like all of a sudden he's their cousin who he's never come around at all.
Yeah.
In any season. And why that's kind of like eye-raising to me is, if he's close enough that they invite to their family compound at the lake house.
Yeah.
Why have they never mentioned or brought him along before?
Sure.
So whatever. I mean, it just felt a little forced there.
Sure.
But otherwise, still great. I mean, the characters are borderline cartoonish, but it all works because it's just so funny and well written.
Yeah, and then there's some heart there too. There's the flashbacks with Amy Lee. That's Jennifer Nettles. Who knew she had comedy?
I know.
Or who? I guess I didn't realize how good she was as an actress, and obviously she's a talented musician. But just good stuff there. I don't know, and it like. Even Dr. Eli Gemstone, played by John Goodman, we've seen him in so many different roles, comedy included. But, this one's got kind of some drama there, too, and some heart, like I said. And so I find those endearing. And
yeah, and it's got a little bit of everything. Like you said, drama, heart. There's also some graphic violence.
Yeah.
Occasionally. I mean, not so much this season,
a
little bit, but... nothing like, oh, gory, but, like, oh, shit. But overall, a pretty hilarious show. And, of course, it's got the great Walton Goggins.
Absolutely. That character's so funny.
I mean, there's a scene where he's water skiing naked.
Oh, my gosh.
You see Baby Billy Jr. flopping around. And then I read a story about how they did that. It wasn't actually Walton Goggins. They actually got some older stuntman to go full
naked.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then he did some CGI magic.
Could you imagine water skiing like that? Like you could? You would do it?
Oh, no, I've never water skied.
Oh.
But if somebody said, here's $100, go water ski naked, I'm like, all right. Maybe $500.
Oh my gosh. No.
But
I think you're getting arrested for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you better make it more money so you can get bailed out.
Walton Goggins, of course, just seems to be really good at everything.
Absolutely.
And he's Baby Billy, the uncle to the Gemstone kids, and he wants to do this show about teen-aged Jesus Christ, and he calls it Teengus.
Teengus.
And here he is on set directing Teengus.
Keep moving, you dirty Nazarenes. Always up to mischief, are you, Teengus? When you finally gonna get your act together? You're late for class.
Teengus, give me some more smolder now. You hate this Roman soldier. You wanna rip his fucking face off. But you can't now, because you Teengus. So just be conflicted now. Now turn around and think to yourself, fuck him. And walk off slowly. Because you don't want to fuck with a Roman because they will crucify you. Somebody get that donkey in focus.
Changes. I just, anytime I see the name Jesus, I probably think of Walton Goggins as Baby Billy saying, changes.
I know, right? And that is forever burned in my brain, too. That's so great.
So good.
He's so well-rounded, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
that's extreme comedy and a very specific character, you know,
Yeah.
and like, but he just does it believably so, no matter what it is. So
Remember when he was
kudos to
Shane
him.
on The Shield?
yeah,
God.
yep.
And then Boyd Crowder on
Justified,
and,
yep.
You know, of course, White Lotus, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
The Goggins is Goodins.
He sure is.
sure.
Yep. I like to, like, you know, this show has a religious aspect, but, you know, they kind of tackled something about like gay marriage and being, you know, in the religion, and like Kelvin is a leader in the religion, but he
Yeah.
is obviously openly gay. And so I like that they kind of brought in a little bit of a timely topic, you know?
Yeah,
So.
and you know what's interesting, I'm glad you brought that up. For a show about these religious leaders, there isn't a lot of religion in it. I mean, obviously,
I know, right?
you know, somebody's doing a preaching to the choir, they're going to be talking about some Bible stuff
And singing songs.
and singing
yeah.
songs, but it's not like there's no religious message at all here.
No, and even like the songs, now that I think about that, like they could be any songs. They're just kind of about, you know, love and care, and they're not, you know, what a friend we have in Jesus or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I kind of feel like they did a good job of like, it is what it's about, but it's really not what it's about. But it's almost kind of like a message, like, well, that should be how religion is, you
Mhm.
know, love your neighbor, you know, care for your family, you know,
Sure.
the basics, you know, and not, yeah. So I kind of like it because it's not, you know, just that. It is really, truly kind of making a statement on what it should be, you know?
Yeah. Without beating you over the head with it.
Well, I mean, sometimes they beat people over the head.
Or feed them to
Not
the
in this
crocodiles.
season. Yeah, yeah.
So Righteous Gemstones, it is kaput, but definitely go watch it on Max.
Yeah, it's a good, funny, and nice show.
And you can binge it now because they're all up there
Sweet.
ready for you.
Funny stuff.
That's going to do it for us on this Married with Channels podcast, where we are a married couple talking about the movies and the TV shows, and we hope to be back real soon with a brand new episode. Make sure you give us a good review, and yeah,
Share. Tell your friends.
absolutely. Until next time, my name is Moose.
And I'm Jody.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Change us.